Beta brothers and beta sisters, it's Neil McDougall here, Neil Mac, here to take you through one of the very first pieces of entrance music that I did for ICW, and it turned up in a few other places as well, but it was primarily done for ICW, and that's the music that was used by Big Damo, now known as WWE's Killian Dain of Sanity, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, no less. So he was one of the first things that I ended up doing for ICW after the whole Grudelberg thing happened and whatnot. That's a story for another day. Well, maybe even dig into that little piece later on. So I'm going to take you through the session for Beast. As you can see, it's not a very complicated thing. You sometimes see folk going through, sessions and stuff on YouTube, and it's hundreds of tracks. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks, basically. It's pretty straightforward. So it's just, guitar, bass and drums and the sort of pipe sound at the start, which I don't think ICW used, but it got used elsewhere, if I recall correctly. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. So we'll just run back the playback for starters and we'll have a wee listen. So yeah, you get the idea. If you'd been to ICW shows when Damo was cutting about, you would have heard that a few times. It's a big hairy tune for a big hairy guy. The original brief was something along the lines of Three Little Piggies by Green Jello, and I think I had a crack at doing something that was like that, but I think the bods at ICW just, either I wasn't vibing on it or they weren't vibing on what I'd come up with. I can't remember, it was a few years ago now. But I kind of went back to the drawing board and I just thought to myself, you know what, let's just have a crack at something. Let's just look at Damo and just play what comes out that feels like him. And what came out was this. And it got used and, it became kind of almost synonymous with him to a certain extent. And yeah, it was, quite quickly put together as stuff that I do tends to be, just using some pretty basic sounds overall. The drums were from Reason Drums, the Reason Drums Refill, one of the presets, the harder preset, and sounds like this in isolation. Pretty meaty sounding drums. Not a lot of dynamics in the programming. Apart from the fills. So yeah, like I say, all done rather quickly. There's just the two rhythm guitar tracks, both from my Pod HD 500. One is an Engel Fireball model, which sounds a bit like this. Bit of a dodgy edit there. It's panned hard left, as you can hear if you're listening through headphones. And the other track was a Mesa Boogie sound. It sounds a bit like this. Panned hard right. Now you're probably hearing in between the bits that I'm playing, there's that kind of weird sound. That is actually my Chapman ML1, the strings behind the nut, resonating when I'm trying to mute the guitar. You sometimes see guitar players, they'll have like a felt wrap thing behind the nut. It's to stop that, and I hadn't figured that part out. But in a way, I kind of like it. It's a little bit rough around the edges with that weird sort of resonant sound happening. And I think it kind of suits it in a weird way. It almost sounds like, I don't know, metallic and industrial and sort of imposing. And it was a happy accident, basically. and it kind of works. So you can tell by those bits where I've edited here and here, there was probably some pretty egregious examples of that I snipped out for dynamic's sake, so I could get that drum fill to kind of stick out. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. Oh, the bass. I can't remember what model I used for the bass. It was probably one of the default ones that came with the pod. I can't remember if I had the extra bass amps for it at this point. So yeah, here's the bass. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Nothing too out of this or out of the ordinary. And the pipes sound at the start was a sample I found somewhere, and I just kind of edited it to make it longer and stuff. And it goes a little something like this, and I think I put some effects on it and stuff. So yeah, the original sample was much shorter, so you can see that I've kind of lengthened it out with a couple of extra bits there. You can see those bits there and there where I've edited it in. And I put an echo on it. Mix-wise, I don't think there was an awful lot going on. Just a few EQs probably here and there. Yeah, a little bit of a dip in the mids and the bass. Low cut in the guitars, a little low mid cut, and same again with the other guitar track. And did I do much in the drums? Yeah, it's the general kind of cut. And did I have the master section running? I did have the master section running. There's a little EQ cut there. Again, nothing totally out of the ordinary, but yeah, that's a wee quick tour as a test of this whole concept of recording my desktop and taking the fans of wrestling out there around some of the tracks that I've done via this here YouTube channel. And yeah, so if you want to see more, leave a comment, like, favourite, subscribe and all that nonsense, and hopefully we'll see you in the future for some more of this. If you have any tunes of ours that you want to see me go through, or tunes of mine in particular, because I don't have the sessions for Div's tunes, if you want to see me go through those tunes, you know, let us know in the comments. And yeah, catch you.